It is a rocket or a giant dildo.
This was how I spent my young years. And I don't really regret it. Okay, now, hang on, I need to go in reverse for any of this to make sense. I was that kind of kid who loved soft merch of anything, like any marketable kids game, because it just meant I could do like Gmod RPs with them. I especially loved Angry Birds around this time, so I had YouTube, but without an account, and around 2013 I discovered this bizarre web show.
What? Big bro, what are you doing in there?
I'm not big bro, I don't grow.
It just started out as this random lanky teenager throwing birds at boxes, like reenacting the game in real life in his house. I promise this gets funnier later on. So I have finished both seasons of this, like 5 times by now. You might be wondering why I even do this. Like, you know, it seems unremarkable at face value. Well, it can all be summed up to self-indulgence. That's pretty much it. It's self-indulgence. Like, this was exactly catered towards me. It's an Angry Birds series with Nintendo bosses, with RPG elements, with Paper Mario songs. It's like, I'm just straight up in at that point. I'm pretty sure this is part of where I got my storytelling beats from. Well, at the time, as a kid, there's just all these sections of, like, cool new features that get forgotten, like Pokemon moves.
Red, I just realized something. We can use moves in battle that aren't like on the Angry Bird battlefield. Thunderbolt, Sleep Powder, and White can use a super egg attack.
Okay, so I just thought about this while scripting this. So I want to sidebar for a second. This white bird is specifically a male, you know, like in the classic Angry Birds app before they changed it because they found out that men can't lay eggs. But there's 2 white birds and this male one still gets eggs, so this just becomes so much funnier in my head now. So yeah, there's all these things like RPG attacks that kind of are relevant at the start, but then get completely forgotten, and like beak attacks and all that. And eventually the second season just turns it into like Paper Mario with how the pigs are like jumping at the birds and it's turn-based. I kind of love it.
My HP just decreased by 5. What, so this is now RPG battle-wise? I don't know. We have health points. What the heck? Bosses can sometimes attack you now. What?
It seems like a lot of this was just being made up as he went along, but this gave the whole series this unnaturally funny and charming kind of appeal to it. I don't know how to explain it. Despite all the combat focus, there's this weird sense of conversation with the birds and the bosses, and they all have their own insane aspects, you know? I think I just realized, like, the perfect analogy. This is like Angry Birds Clerks. It seems on the surface there's not much that makes sense, and it looks mundane, but then you go into it and it's just so dry and funny, and it hits you with some of these comedic wham lines.
Suck my cock! Oof.
It just sounds like he's trying to not wake his parents up or something. But yeah, it just feels like that exact type of humor. It's like Clerks for like teenagers who grew up in the 2000s. It's this and like Goomzilla that can take just such a simple concept of someone throwing toys around on a camera and then just execute it in such a way that you can just watch it forever. The delivery of this is absolutely my favorite.
Ha! You guys suck. You guys do nothing. Oof. Ow! Okay, that one hurt. Ow! Ugh.
For the first season, I think the Blissey episode is probably my favorite. I think it's just because of how bulky she is, but also because of how the birds all just get sent flying at the end. It's got one of my favorite forts and some of the funniest dialogue. I mean, I've already told you about
Suck my cock! Oof.
I think the Bullet Bill's my favorite in the second season. It's just got a random core guest appearance, and also it just turns into an acid fest really quick.
Ah!
Yo, new Cruelty Squad DLC. This was also the episode that introduced the Mighty Eagle, in Season 2 anyways. Oh right, I haven't talked about the Mighty Eagle yet, I should probably get to that. You can likely tell he was getting bored at this point, so it was probably a good idea to add this dude sooner or later. And he's just legendary, he just improves every single scene he's in. He just gets thrown and destroys everything, and it's just kind of hilarious because of that.
Oh yeah.
So apparently late into the series he gets actual editing tools, which this is probably what I want to get to next. It's just the natural progression of how this was made in the span of like 2 different years. He slowly learns more tips and tricks, like he doesn't have to just awkwardly walk to his computer to play music anymore at this point, and you can kind of hear him hitting puberty around here.
Wonder who the next boss is gonna be. I am a pig, but not just any pig. A pig surrounded by a giant, awkward structure.
So what have I been saying for the past, 5 minutes? I don't really know. It was just a nostalgia trip, really. It's so personalized because I know that, the Plants vs. Zombies stuff probably gets more views, that and the Angry Birds Go videos. That's where I started. But this is so specifically for me. Well, it's a bit weird to put it like that. It was the one I was most interested in when I watched the hell out of Luigi Fan. If you wonder why I sound monotone right now, well, it's partially just how I am, but also because this is a very straightforward topic. But really, if you're going down a nostalgia dive, you should definitely check out this series. If you liked PlushTube like me, you'll probably enjoy it. I know there's 80 episodes, but they're all very short, and they fly by fast because they're just goofy as hell. He's still making stuff today, and the mainline Angry Birds plush is probably just better all around, arguably, but I have such a weird attachment to this for, I don't know, everything. I'll put a link in the description for the playlist of this series, and I might cover Luigi Fan and Angry Birds later on, maybe next year, but for right now, I don't know, just watch it. Take care. Suck my beak!